How many times have you thought about quitting your job in the last week? Be honest. At some point for me, it was at least every single day before I eventually quit. When I first started writing the script for this video, my reasons for quitting were I was bored at work, I didn't connect with my bosses or my coworkers, I wanted to have more money, and so on. But honestly, yes, some of it contributed to it, but it really wasn't the reason. The reason is, it is me. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Mike, I'm pursuing financial independence and I'm currently figuring out my coast-fi life. On this channel, we explore how to live the financial independent life without actually being financially independent yet. After 7 years in the corporate world, I called it quits, at least for now. I quit because of me. Or said differently, my job where I spent a large part of my waking hours was simply not me. Let me elaborate. Not my path. I went to school, then university, and then started working. I have not questioned the progression of my life much until more recently, but it never felt like I chose to go down that path that ended with me being in a corporate job. I was more guided into it. Yes, I chose to go to university and what subject to study. In my case, multiple subjects. And I chose the jobs and the companies I worked for. But it was all within the guiding rails of paths that were pre-approved by society. I was sort of just nudged into and I sort of just followed along. Don't get me wrong, those are decent paths and a lot of people thrive in them. Unfortunately, not me. And it is on me and not anybody else for not recognizing it earlier. In his book, The Pathless Path, Paul Miller describes his feeling of being in a non-authentic life as default path versus pathless path. I was on a default path and now I'm course correcting to be on the pathless path. Not my personality. Most people have different personalities depending on different situations. Beyonce has Sasha Fierce when she's on stage. I have corporate Mike. Corporate Mike is outgoing, smiles a lot, is eager to please, follows rules and is ambitious. In reality, I'm an introvert. I often have resting bitch face. I'm less golden retriever, more grumpy cat. I like to explore boundaries and I'm usually good with the 80-20 Pareto principles. I put on corporate Mike Monday till Friday for a long time. Fake it till you make it, as they say. But at the end of the day, I was drained and exhausted from pretending to be someone I am not. Especially as an introvert in a world where extroverted traits are more appreciated. Not my ambitions. Early in my career, I fell into the so-called prestige trap. I was flashed by fancy job titles and the social status that come with them. After realizing that I don't really care about them, I struggled to identify with a job title or a company I worked for. So much that I've always found it awkward to answer questions that serve to judge your social status. Like, what do you do? Where did you study? I also felt too disconnected from the end products that I could not take pride in them, nor the visions, missions, or the values that the company was representing. As a result, I struggled to sustain any motivation to climb the career ladder. What then are my ambitions? I'm not 100% sure yet. Roughly, I think it is to create or build something of my own, in some shape or form. Since my previous corporate jobs were highly specialized, and often limited by job descriptions, seeing something through from start to finish was not possible. And I'm not ready yet to accept that I cannot find this kind of satisfaction within the work environment. Not my strengths. I use Dr. Grace Lordan's concept of Me Plus that she describes in her book Think Big to visualize a future version of myself. It involves reflecting on activities that you enjoy doing. And I realized that I prefer to be a jack of many trades rather than a specialist. I enjoy doing many different things and I have different interests. This is likely also why I switched around from studying economics to math, physics and biomedical engineering. Specializing in just one thing just does not float my boat. And because of that, I now know that I dodged a massive bullet by not doing a PhD. And in alignment with my ambitions to create something of my own, being more of a jack of many trades is rather beneficial. Looking at my reasons to quit, the only thing that actually kept me at my job was money. I got bills to pay. But even with that aspect, like many of you, I was not entirely happy with. My wages did not keep up with the real rise of costs. And that was before the crazy high inflation of the past few years. Now, what if you remove the money aspect from the equation? There was no real reason for me to stay in a corporate job anymore. That moment happened when I reached Coast-Fi. Coast-Fi is the stage in your FI journey where you can stop saving and your investment will still eventually grow to reach your FI number eventually. All of that without you having to contribute any further savings, all thanks to compound interest. Click here to learn more. Even after realizing the underlying personal reasons and the fact that thanks to Coast-Fi, I was no longer as reliant on receiving a high corporate salary anymore, the step to quit was still a big step for me. Because it meant that I had to be honest to myself and accept that a large part of my previous life is likely now sunk cost. Time and money spent on education, time spent to build a reputation, build connections, build a nice CV, all sunk cost. Yet I decided to accept the sunk cost because of the following opportunity costs. I'm afraid that I will be wasting time and not live a life that is authentic to me. I'm afraid that I won't discover who authentic Mike is, because of the pressure to conform to corporate life and that societal expectations will force authentic Mike to only appear during out of office hours. I am afraid to live a life that barely scratches the surface of what is possible within a human lifetime. Life might seem comfortable with a corporate job, but I think I would always be wondering if there is not something else. I fear regret more than I fear failure. I want to at least have tried it. I don't want to regret not trying it. My previous jobs gave me a better understanding of what I want for my life and an even better understanding of what I don't want or want less of in my life. So I want to find work that addresses my pain points from my previous job. Could some of these pain points be relieved by finding a corporate job that is more suited to me? Probably, but not all of them. And I suspect that it is only a temporary band-aid. After a couple of months, maybe years, the issues will resurface again. Having a corporate job was a very good arrangement for a while, and it allowed me to build a financial cushion. But after having learned about FI and after reaching Coast-Fi, I was just not willing to put up with the pain points anymore. And I want to take bigger risks, to seek for something else. I want to try to find an environment that is more aligned with who I am, that will be able to relieve the fear of missing out on life. This can be working in a small company with a less rigid job description. I want to maybe explore being a freelancer, maybe start my own company, or having multiple part-time jobs, or any combination of the above. Coast-Fi is really taking off the big burden of needing to have a high saving rate and giving me the freedom and courage to figure out my life. Let's see where life takes me. Making this video has been quite therapeutic. Can you relate to some of the pain points I experienced with my previous corporate jobs? I'm curious to learn about your pain points. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to learn about what stages you need to pass before reaching Coast-Fi, click on this video. Thank you for watching and see you next time.